Good afternoon, everybody. I'm very happy to be here, and I think that this declaration is coming at a very good moment because we are in a special situation. It is very urgent. We are 6 months after Lux Leaks. You remember when, due to a whistleblower, Antoine Delcourt, the world came to know about 336 tax rulings showing the whole world that the multinationals did not pay taxes or paid less than 1% using techniques that is called the double Irish or the Netherlands sandwich, using the European directive on holdings and daughter societies, that it is forbidden to have withholding taxes, for instance. So it showed the whole world what a lot of us already knew, that multinationals are not paying taxes, that all the economists know from the statistics. For instance, in the US, the part of taxes paid by companies has fallen from, I think it was about 14% of the total tax collections in the 70s to 8% in 2011. So the tax evasion is absolutely evident. I want to share with you some souvenirs I have with Professor Stiglitz. He has forgotten it because he's a very important person and a lot of things to do. But we had a common interest in Iceland. Do you remember, Professor? In 2009, end of 2008, Iceland wake up with a debt of $100 billion. They are 330,000 people. They needed the aid of the monetary fund, and they came and said, you will have your $10 billion only if you follow our advice. Our advice and request is that you privatize and you develop your resources. So they privatized their geothermal. Up till then, the town of Reykjavik were the owner of their own geothermal, and people in Iceland had nearly free electricity and heating. They sold it to a Canadian mining company called Magma for nearly nothing. And it was a bullet loan. It was should be paid at the end of a lot of years. And at that time, I looked into it, and 46% of the shareholders were in tax havens. As what could be foreseen, they sold the shares within a few years to pension funds in Iceland, made huge profits, and today the Icelandic people are paying their electricity and their heating. Where are the good? Where are the good for whom? I mean, this is terrible. And they also built a new smelter, aluminium smelter, and this is run by Rio Tinto Alcan. They are saying in their yearly report that the smelter in Iceland is the most profitable in the world, but they are not paying taxes in Iceland, and they have not been paying taxes there for 10 years. So what is the benefit for Iceland? They have in their trading balance some benefit for sure, but people, only 450 jobs. That they could have maybe 1,000 in tourism. They are destroying the nature, and even geothermal is being destroyed. So, and this is, we see that the advices of the monetary fund are the same in Iceland as they were in African countries, and this is pure ideology. And we are not caring about public goods. And so the situation in Zambia was exactly the same. The mining companies do not pay taxes. They are misusing the transfer pricing, like India, using Mauritius. depriving developing countries of what is their fair share. So, in other words, we can say that the multinationals and their advisors, the auditors, they are responsible for a huge part of the chaos in the world because they have hampered development. And this must change because it's also a factor of inequality, of injustice. And one day people will not stay it anymore. And you know, we cannot trust the OECD because they have said for 30 years now that we must have a level playing field. That is their vocabulary. But what have they done? When you look to the figures, today Luxembourg is the hugest foreign direct investor in the world. They are not 320,000 like in Iceland, they are 550,000. And when you talk to the auditors, they say, oh no, Luxembourg is more transparent than before. We are making progress, but we cannot wait. We are in a situation where the world is about to explode. Our civilization, the way we are living, cannot bear this model anymore. And also because the weakness of our politicians that we can watch in the European Union after WikiLeaks, not WikiLeaks, that's another story, after Lux Leaks, there is a political boulevard to change the tax regime of the multinationals because the public opinion understands now that it's not fair that Amazon do not pay taxes while their local library pays. And we have a commissioner, a French commissioner on tax that is called Moscovici. He was a very bad minister of economics in France before he became commissioner. He's a weak man. He do not take any fight. The head of the European Commission, which is Jean-Claude Juncker, he was the head of this paradis fiscal that is Luxembourg. Imagine le rapport de force. It's easy to be Mr. Moscovici. You can just put your eyes on Mr. Juncker and say, we must have reforms, and here is what I put on the table. Country by country reporting, publicly available, for instance, to start with, because here you don't even need unanimity, you only need consensus. But he don't. He will not do that. And I can't understand why. And I think this is a general problem. Why are we not able to settle the problem of the multinationals? Why are we not able to make an agreement on climate change? It is really a political problem. It is the weakness of politics that has become kind of show, and where the only preoccupation is to be re-elected. We lack politicians with a vision and who want things to change. So we are in a very special situation, and I think our document giving solutions, it's a kind of stern report on tax erosion. This is the way forward. And also because we require to have an UN body that should establish a tax treaty like we established a treaty on corruption between 2000 and 2003. Within a very few years, this treaty was signed by nearly all the countries in the world, and it was really a revolution, making corruption a crime and making it also a general document for extradition. We can do the same thing with taxes. We can do that within a few years, having mandatory rules that should be respected so that developing countries should have their fair part. So I'm very proud to be part of this project, and I thank you for inviting me.